Plaintiff Amanda Deller rented a house from the defendant, and within an hour of meeting her, the defendant told Amanda she got fired from her job for having an affair with her boss. Amanda claims the defendant then moved in with her and her family and then forced Amanda's family out so her boyfriend could serve house arrest at the property. She's suing for housing costs and emotional distress. Defendant Shannon Cohey says after she moved in with Amanda and her family, she was forced to take care of Amanda's children because Amanda slept until 3 in the afternoon every day. Shannon claims she served Amanda with an eviction notice, and as a result, Amanda threatened to burn Shannon's house down. Shannon's countersuing for rent and cleaning costs.
Start with you.
We met Shannon in December of '08, the beginning of December of '08. Me and my husband, our 2 children, and a friend of ours signed a lease from her house for the term of 1 year.
Beginning when?
December 1st, I believe. She was leasing her house because she was moving to Wisconsin for a job. She had been transferred because she had been caught by her previous job. I'm sleeping with the supervisor.
How do you know all this?
She told us.
And you were just tenants, or were you close friends?
Nope, didn't even know her.
How long did you know her before she told you she got fired for sleeping with the boss?
I found out the same day we signed the lease.
How long did you know her?
Maybe an hour.
Tell me about this.
I did have an 8-month relationship with my boss at the time, and that has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but why'd you tell her in the first hour? I'm just very curious and want to know if there's anything you can disclose to us that's interesting.
The very close friend that we know, that is how our relationship started.
And within an hour of knowing her,
I don't believe that it was within an hour. I think that she's exaggerating. I don't believe that it was within the first couple of days of knowing each other, but that's a little exaggerated on her part.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, she moved to Wisconsin.
Why'd you get fired, though?
We got caught.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
They transferred her to Wisconsin. Well, a week later, exactly 1 week later, we find out she lost her job and she was coming back. She had nowhere else to go, and we kind of felt pretty bad, and she had been friends with our other roommate, so we agreed to let her stay with us for a short time.
Why don't you give me some background on the case before we get to the landlord issues?
Absolutely. To begin with, our very close friend introduced me to them. So I allowed them to move in. I was within like maybe 1 to 2 weeks of them signing the lease and actually moving in. I had been in Wisconsin for about 2 months prior to this. And within 1 to 2 weeks of them moving in, I did come back. When we all first did start living together, we all did get along. We all got along very well. I helped watch her children because she would sleep until 3 o'clock in the afternoon because she would wait up while her husband was at work until 3 o'clock in the morning. She would sleep until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Their 4-year-old son would literally, he took like the electrical outlets off with a screwdriver. He climbed up 3 chairs with a butcher knife onto my refrigerator, and I have slate tiling through my whole home.
What did she say when you complained about this?
Nothing.
She just looked at you?
Nothing. That's pretty much how they parented all the time.
You said your son nearly electrocuted himself and got on the refrigerator and nearly fell on a butcher knife.
I know it sounds
odd,
but
she just looked.
Yes, Your Honor.
All
that's
right.
exactly how she was.
How do you want to respond to this before we get to the
that
housing?
That is completely, totally false.
All right. Get to the lawsuit, the housing. How does she owe you for that?
Well, when the roommate moved out, she stayed. He was arrested for a DUI when they were together fighting in a vehicle. He swerved. His attorneys thought he was going to get house arrest. They wanted him to do it at the house we were residing in, so she wanted us to leave. So she
wanted you to leave?
Yeah, she wanted her house back was the main thing. She didn't plan on losing her job and wanted her house back.
That's not how it went at all, Your Honor.
That's pretty much what it was, and wanted him to be with her.
All right, go ahead.
She typed up a letter and left it saying that we were behind in rent, that my children had caused all kinds of damage. Her main complaint was that my children were just wild, and it was stressing her out. So
you have that letter?
Yes, I do.
And therefore what? She said all these things?
Therefore, she said I had 30 days to move.
All right, and what ultimately happened with that move?
Well, we were gone for the weekend. She changed the locks, boarded the windows. My dog also was in the house, all our belongings.
No, sir. First off, I own the home.
Mm-hmm.
I own the home.
Didn't you lease it to them?
Right, but when I moved back in, I did not know that my name...
Please listen.
Sorry.
Weren't they already living there when you came back to stay with them?
Yes, and they agreed that it was okay that I moved back in, yes.
Even though you may have owned the home, they had all power over that home.
Correct.
When they had a lease.
Correct.
So you owning a home was irrelevant in this situation. So what happened?
Okay, so I did give them the eviction notice. They had gone from, she got sick, she was in the hospital for 9 days, and her husband's van broke down. He's the only one that works, and they couldn't pay for March rent. And they never tried to pay me for March rent. They never offered to pay me anything for March rent, and then April came around. Never one time did they offer to pay me anything for April. So yes, on I believe it was March 26th, I decided to give them a 30-day eviction notice. Damages to my home had gone way overboard, not paying the rent.
Did they ever ask you for rent as a tenant?
I paid the entire mortgage. I paid all of the utility bills, everything.
To them?
No, it was all in my name.
Ma'am, let me explain to you again. You were their tenant when you moved in with them. The owner can't move in with a tenant unless the tenant agrees to let them. And once the landlord moves in with someone they have leasing their place from them, then the landlord becomes a tenant to the lessee because it's her right, it's her exclusive right to that property until either her lease expires or until she is legally evicted from the place. Until that point, you were a tenant. Go ahead.
When they did not pay rent, that is when I tried to give the 30-day illegal notice, or eviction notice. I've never rented my home out before, so I didn't know I had to go downtown. So I did give them the 30-day eviction notice. They were supposed to be out by April 26th. On April 24th, we got into a small argument at the house between these two and myself and my boyfriend and the third party on the lease. And she basically told me that I had no legal rights to remove them from the home and that she would burn my house down before she would leave.
Which makes no sense. I want to live there.
My boyfriend and I left.
Did she say she would move her things and her children before burning your home down?
No, her statement to me directly was,
she wasn't going to remove her things. She was going to burn her house down with all her things in it.
Exactly.
That just was the statement that was made.
That was
okay.
So we left the house, and when we came back on the 24th, they were gone. They were gone for the entire weekend. I thought they had left and abided by the eviction.
For a weekend?
We were removing our children from the situation.
They were gone for 3 days, so I figured that was
so
that they had left.
any tenant that leaves for 3 days, you think they're gone?
Well, considering that the eviction notice was due on April 26th.
You don't allow your tenants vacations?
She never left the couch in the entire 4 months that they lived in my house.
Ridiculous.
I'm not even joking. I'm not joking.
Go ahead. Tell me about the eviction once again. You believe they were gone when they left for the weekend, and so you did what?
And they had taken the kids, they had left, and they were gone. So I was told by my lawyer to change the locks since they were gone. Make sure they didn't have a key.
I don't know what type of lawyer you have. He's totally incompetent under the law.
I'm just repeating.
Tell him I said it. Matter of fact, give him a copy of this show so he can learn some law.
So,
did he ever tell you to get a judgment of eviction from a judge?
Only
remember, you didn't know, but your lawyer should know.
Right, but I only spoke to the lawyer after all this stuff happened, and then he told me I had to go down and get the 30-day eviction notice from the courts.
And then what?
And then on Monday, when I was in bed waiting I work nights, and so I was taking a nap, and I heard somebody knocking on the door. And I went to get up, and then about a minute later, I heard glass shattering. I called the police because somebody was breaking into my house, and I go out, and she has shattered my kitchen window out and is climbing in through my kitchen window. Pushes by me, tells me to get the out of her way, and I go to the front. I'm on the phone with the police. I open my front door. There's 5 cop cars sitting out of my front house, and I was like, I would like her arrested for breaking and entering. They therefore removed me from my property in a tiny tank top, shorts, no shoes, no keys, no ID, no anything, and placed in the middle of the road and told from this point on you are no longer allowed on your property or in your home without her permission.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay.
Tell me about this situation
when she
here.
she changed the locks when we were gone. I called the police to have them meet me out at the house because she was not allowing me to get in. She was started to claim at that time now I had moved out. Well, the police came. I told them the situation. They said, this is legally my house, you know, like as you said, per the lease. They tried numerous times knocking on the door. She refused to answer. She had also taken blankets and sheets and around all the windows, nailed it shut so you could not see into this house whatsoever, and had taken wood and put it in each window jamb to prevent it from being lifted. The cops at that point told me, you have to do whatever you need to get into your house, you may do it. She prevented me from being able to enter it, so I had to enter my home. I picked the smallest window in the back of the house. Yes, I did break it to gain entrance just to unlock the front door.
All right, and then what happened afterwards?
She came out at this point, going insane, telling that, she broke into my house, she used to be arrested, the cops were already there. She had refused to answer the door for them, but until the window was broke, she was waiting. She continued to sit there and threaten me in front of the police officers numerous times, to cuss, to scream and yell. They numerous times warned her to calm down, to knock off the threats. She refused. Finally, they had enough, and they did arrest her for disorderly. And then they told me she is no longer to be here. If she returns after she is released, to call 911. The next morning, I have a doctor's appointment. Our friend is at the home with our children and his children. And I come home to 7 cop cars in front of my house. And they tell me that she has gone around the system, manipulated the system, and falsely accused me of threatening her to receive order of protection, which would automatically, because she filed for it, regardless of the fact she's out of my lease, gives her immediate possession of the property and puts me homeless as of the moment I'm served, and my children.
Who told you that?
The courts.
Oh, you have a judgment from the court.
Yeah, he gave it to her because
Do you have
we already
an eviction judgment ordering them to move? Because that's binding if she has that. But you're saying she locked you out before getting that.
Yes.
Yes.
She got that the same day she got the order of protection, which was the 28th.
When did you change the locks?
On the Friday, the 24th, when I came home and they were already
24th,
gone.
you changed the locks, and then you didn't go to the court for a proper eviction or for a court-ordered eviction until the 28th?
Because it was the weekend, and Monday I ended up in jail, and then Tuesday was the first time that I was allowed
Well, ma'am, you were to wait until a judge signed an order of eviction before changing the locks. That was an illegal eviction. Your counterclaim, $1,295, unpaid rent, late fees, and cleaning costs.
Yes, and I have the pictures of the way that my home was and why I had them, wanted them out. During the time that I went from the day that I was arrested.
This is filthy, ma'am.
For 3 days, I was homeless.
You what? I haven't seen these pictures to even know what they are.
This is their bedroom, their children's bedroom, the kitchen, the living room. From the day that I was arrested, I did go to jail, absolutely. I was evicted. I was homeless for 3 days. I had no home. I own a home and I was homeless.
I've heard all that. I need you now to prove why they owe you rent. And I don't see an order. This is your claim. Do you have an order where the judge said they owe, they don't owe, they must leave? Do you have that?
The day that we went in for the eviction, they were already out of the house, and so the judge put it on to the next date, and that's where we are here now.
Did the judge? Oh, so it hasn't.
Since they were already out.
It hasn't been closed, the case?
There's a hearing for damages set for July 7th.
Come on up.
Sir. I'm sorry.
State your name.
My name's Thomas
What
Deller.
do you want to tell me?
Well, actually, a couple of things. When we went to the eviction court, the reason she was mentioning the protective orders is because the judge that we went before saw that those protective orders were in effect at that point and said, why are we here? You're not allowed on the property anyways.
Okay. March and April, did you all pay the rent or not?
We paid March's. April, she was.
Do you have any evidence?
No, she refuses to write receipts since December. She has not written a single receipt.
You have something from December?
No, she has not. Never written a receipt.
Yes.
And I'm not claiming that
We've
they
never
haven't paid
gotten
anything
receipt.
other than March and April.
All right. So I do know that you illegally evicted them. I don't know whether they owe you rent. The other judge has to determine that because, as you say, it's pending, and you don't have a judgment that says they must move, and when they move, this is how much they owe you. Therefore, I have to dismiss your case. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.